Hey guys, Corey Poria here. Welcome to Blue Talks, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be back on stage here at Oxford University. It's great to see beautiful people again. And so I'll get started. What I want to talk about is success and the cost of success. Nobody told me that making it out would feel lonely. They told me to work hard, get good grades, and stay out of trouble. Nobody told me that the higher I went, the more I had to leave behind. The higher I went, the more I had to leave behind. Nobody told me that as you start climbing, people stop cheering and they start pulling. Nobody told me that you would have to choose between loyalty to where I came from and loyalty to where I was going. So I want to let you know the choice almost destroyed me. And I want to explain the moment that I had to decide. I woke up hogtied, hands behind my back and to my ankles, in a cell, right after assaulting a police officer, a felony assault in the state of Virginia. And I went to court, and the moment that broke me wasn't the charge, because at the time, I wasn't one that had feelings. I was living in the moment. I was living out of pain. And when you hurt people, as they say, hurt people hurt people. So I was hurt, and I didn't really care about each other's feelings. But what broke me was looking at my mother and seeing her pain, knowing that she worked double shifts. At the time, I also had a sister who was battling a crack addiction. So it wasn't as if she didn't have enough on her plate with my sister and my father being incarcerated. Here I am again, causing more pain. She prayed over me, and she was one of the only people that believed in me. And here I am in shackles, proving her wrong and living a life that she didn't want for me. Then here comes the testimony. The police officer takes the stand, and he says words that just totally changes the trajectory of my life. He takes the stands, he talks about this kid who used to play football in high school, who had potential, but all he needed was a little guidance. He talked about a child who could have been one of the greats, a child who wasn't really influenced by others, but he was suffering from pain. That day, the police officer walked out there with 2 teeth missing and a back brace on. But what he told the judge changed my life forever and also changed the way I looked at authority. He told the judge, Donnie was a good kid, and I think if you give him another chance, I think he'll do something different. So I honored that request. But I also realized a second chance means nothing if you don't change what got you there in the first place. So I made a promise that I was going to make my mother proud, or I was going to die trying. But change has a cost. Everyone from your past doesn't belong in your future. On the road to change, there's isolation. When I went in the military, I was coming home off of leave, and I realized that I no longer fit in. I came home, I'm thinking I have friends they're going to be happy for me. Some were proud. Some was like, oh, you sold out. And then some really didn't care. Almost as if they didn't even know I was missing. Then I had to understand that you can't save everyone. I had to understand that some people don't want to be saved. You see, when you see a different part of life, you try to bring people with you because now that you know something different, you try to do different. So you go to people and friends who you feel were stuck, and you say, look, I realize how we were raised was wrong. And I want to help show you a new way. You will have some that will listen, and then you will have some that think you sold out just because you want to change your life. And what I want to tell you is, don't let anyone change your life for the sake of their comfort. And don't little yourself to make someone else feel good. So what I did, I started running towards the life my mother prayed for. I started finding mentors who pushed me, who wouldn't let me accept excuses of where I came from or what I've been through. People that told me, so what, you've been through it, now what? I had mentors in the military. When I first went in, my chief called me Mr. Can't Get Right. I used to wear my hat backwards like this. He would turn your head around, Mr. Can't Get Right. And I used to say, T-Birds, you don't rule me. You're from Alabama. He turned out to be one of the greatest mentors I've ever had. When I joined the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, my first mentor, Ben Stipes, he believed in me. I was a GS-13, and he was sending me alone to go brief the head of the agencies. I started earning my degrees. I started taking on more challenges. I got my bachelor's degree in business management because someone referred it to me. Then I continued. Now that I'm in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, I felt I needed to up my education. So I went to the National Intelligence University and got my master's degree in strategic intelligence. I started working hard and I started climbing the ranks. And I eventually climbed the ranks to be the chief of staff for the President's Daily Brief, where I coordinated daily intelligence for the President of the United States. And why am I telling you this? Because some of you people may be going to in a family where you're the first to go to college. You're the first to be successful. You're the first to break cycles. You're carrying a weight nobody sees. You're tired. You're doubting yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to think, is this all worth it? I want to tell you the truth. The people who make it aren't the smartest. They aren't the talented. And they haven't always had it easy. It was the one person's belief in them that was worth more than 1,000 people's doubt. Find your anchor. Find that one person that believes in you. And don't listen to the naysayers, 1,000 people doubt. Find that one person that always believed in you and you kept letting them down. For me, that was my mother. Who is that person for you? When you feel like you want to quit, I want you to think of that person. When you feel like life's too hard, I want you to think of that person. When you feel like you're all alone, I want you to think of that person. Because these are real life situations and they're going to happen. So you're going to need somebody that you know is dependent on you that you don't want to let down. Because sometimes your who can be bigger than your why. And now I want you to make a mental promise. I want you to think of that one person in your mind and just say to yourself, as you're talking to them, I will not quit. I will finish what I started. I will make you proud. And now I have a call to action. This week, today possibly, I want you to text that person, call them, and just tell them thank you. And like me, you can borrow their belief until you find your own. If it worked for me, a kid who was shackled at 19, it could work for you. I believe in each and every one of you, and I encourage you to chase your dreams, follow your heart, and live in the uncomfortable. My name is Donnie Landon, and I'm not only the messenger, I am the message. Thank you.